Hi, everybody. Roger Kern here from rogersactingtips.com. And I'm kind of continuing a little series of talking about actors because of a conversation that stirred up a while back with some younger acting students that I've worked with and a couple of their young friends who I have not had the pleasure of working with yet, but I think we're going to work together. And it was a stirring conversation about, is so and so a good actor, and is she, a valid performer, and what's really real, and you know these kinds of questions. And of course, all actors, especially young actors, students, are wondering about what's good and what isn't. And I thought, I think it's kind of a good idea to talk about the ones that we all know as a point of reference. Um, and yes, and I will always mention that anyone who has become a major star and has sustained a career near the top of the profession for an extended period of time over numerous movies, well, those people um, are beyond the shadow of a doubt very good and very unique, because even if they're not your favorite, and these people that they were asking me about are all big time celebrities, major movie stars, and yes, every one of them is good beyond question. But I understand that because some they don't like as much as the others, and they relate to more with a certain actor or a certain actress or comedian, and I get it. I get it. So let's talk a little bit about the people that are out there. And today I've chosen to talk a little bit about Denzel Washington, who is another one of my favorites. I think he's a very powerful actor, and I think he's a fascinating human being, even though I've never had the pleasure of meeting Denzel. I know many people who do know him. I can proudly say that he and I were trained by the same program at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. That is our background. We share that. And there were some actors that I worked with when I was in that company who later on, when Denzel showed up in that company, they worked with him then. And so we have mutual uh, stage buddies, as it were, or comrades in performance, but we have never worked together, Denzel and I. The thing that I want to point out about Denzel, like in films like Glory, for instance, which was easily an Oscar uh, worthy performance, and things like Training Day and Philadelphia, Malcolm X, just wonderful performances that had emotional content of great depth. And that kind of emotional depth and perception into the emotional climate of the events they are depicting, such as being whipped for punishment in Glory, or standing up to, the hierarchy of the church when he was Malcolm X, and being a corrupt policeman in Training Day, and those kinds of emotional depths that he felt with dealing with the situation in Philadelphia with the disease of AIDS. These things require some intense sense memory, together with some substitution, because probably he was not in any of those situations for real. So he not only used his observation power, he also used his emotional memory to dig deep and give it the emotional value that would be required to present the event that he was in a believable uh, way, in a way that we would buy it and go on that journey with him and feel it with him. This requires some intense introspection and some intense recall of emotional situations in our lives. So sense memory and emotional effective memories play large in a lot of Denzel's performances that I've seen anyway. And how do you get there? There are exercises that are based on the fundamentals that all actors know. Now, don't get me wrong, some people are intuitively better at this than others, and so it becomes kind of a calling card or whatever, as you will, but that does not mean that you can't develop it for yourself. And that's what's important, that you understand that these fundamentals are what you start working on to build the style that you're going to work with when you perform. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about you building your own acting formula. Yes, that's why I'm asking you if you are interested in looking at these things for yourself, or understanding about how people arrive at these kind of performances. Please take a look at my new course, Acting Formula 101. I offer it online at my website, rogersactingtips.com. And understand that what I'm saying is watching Denzel might give you a good idea of why I talk about emotional memories and give the exercises for emotional memories in my class. You might also realize what I'm talking about when I talk about concentration, point of concentration. Or understand why I'm talking about the importance of sense memory for presence and being there. These things are very important if you're going to attempt to use, to portray a believable performance of a character in any event. So, be sure if you go to the website to check it out. I think it'd be great for you. It's excellent for the basics, and it comes with exercises to develop those aspects that people have to become aware of in order to develop their own acting formula. And I call it the acting formula on purpose, to remind myself and to remind you too that the only real acting formula is the one that you develop for yourself. Okay? So just know that. That's why I call it that on purpose. I call it the acting formula because the acting formula is you go out and learn and teach yourself. Maybe you're guided by somebody like me who has 35 years of experience in the acting and directing and coaching game, but usually, eventually, you realize that you figure out what you do on your own. I can only kind of maybe give you a sense of direction to get there. So check out the Acting Formula 101. It'll make you aware of the aspects that you need to become aware of to build your own acting formula. I'm Roger Kern from RogerKernsActingTips.com. Thank you for listening. I'm very grateful to have you here, and hopefully I'll see you soon.